come on in. Faurot Field will be rocking for this 10th consecutive sellout. They haven't done that here in over 40 years. These fans are pumped to watch the 7th-ranked Tigers play the Vanderbilt Commodores today. That's Matt Stinchcomb. I'm Taylor Zarzer. Alyssa Lang's on the field. You'll see her in just a second. Now, Vanderbilt started the season by beating Virginia Tech, a statement win for Clark Lee, but they slipped up last week against Georgia State in Atlanta. For Missouri, 3-0, ranked 7th in the season, exactly the start that Eli Drinkwitz wanted.
Obviously, the Commodores looking to bounce back in their conference opener versus Missouri today. And the Tigers here at home were able to get a top 25 victory last week. A lot of momentum they've been able to maintain through 3 games this season. They want to see if they can keep that going here in conference play.
And we all thought that Luther Burden, their star receiver, Stench, would be the story. It's actually been the role guys that have stepped up so far.
Yeah, a really versatile offense. Brady Cook obviously is the center of what they are doing offensively, but Nate Noel and Marcus Carroll, a couple of transfer running backs, they have really been the engine in that running game. And Theo Weiss Jr. has been the most productive receiver so far in the passing game.
Now, Luther did get cranking, though, in the second half last week in the victory against Boston College.
It was just a matter of time, right? He is a playmaker. And so we knew limited action thus far through that game to Boston College before he finally exploded, nearly matching his production in the first 2 games. In that third, he's so good with the ball in his hands. He can run through tackles, he can run around tackles, but maybe even more importantly, for an offense that's looking for explosive playmaking, is his ability to run past defenders. This guy is fast. He is a playmaking ability that they need in an offense that's looking to get behind secondaries.
Almost doubled up his productivity last week alone. Diego Pavia is the story for Vanderbilt at quarterback. That has been a big problem for this program the last few years, so they bring in the transfer from New Mexico State.
Yeah, he's a guy that obviously can make those plays in clutch moments. You see those guys that just want the ball in his hands. Diego Pavia is that guy, incredibly confident, a charismatic type leader. See that C on his jersey? He is a captain early on, but it's his running ability that has really fueled the offense. He can extend plays, and he can make plays with the quarterback design runs.
And he will get the football first. Now, both teams have had problems with penalties so far this year. And for more on that, we go to the field in Alyssa.
Yeah, if you ask this Missouri coaching staff what has to happen for them to take the next step, it's getting rid of those self-inflicted penalties. 8 penalties for 78 yards last week, and offensively, we saw a 2nd and 59 situation. Now, you were talking about Luther Burden, the star receiver, was responsible for a big chunk of those penalties last week. Coach Drinkwitz telling us that he told Luther, don't put the book out on what's going to make you emotional, stealing towels, mouthpieces. If we want to chase a big game with tempo, we got to be able to do that. We can't do that if there's laundry on the field.
Such a good point, Alyssa. This is the 17th meeting between these two schools. The first was in 1895. Mizzou leads 11-4-1, and they've won the last 4 in the series. And as we said, Diego Pavia and this new look Vanderbilt offense will start at their own 25-yard line. You'll see a lot of option football today. You'll see a big tight end and Eli Stowers get involved. Backup quarterback Nate Johnson can come in while Pavia is also in there. You got to keep your eyes focused on who gets that football.
This is a guy who's paced their run game. 54 rushing attempts for the quarterback of Vanderbilt.
He'll start with Cedric Alexander behind him. In this pistol set look. Instead, he hands forward to A.J. Newberry, and Newberry goes ahead to the 31-yard line, a pickup of 6. Multi-sport athlete Diego Pavia from Volcano Vista, New Mexico, started his career at New Mexico Institute. He didn't have any FBS offers. Then he went to New Mexico State. He was the Conference USA Player of the Year last year, leading the team to a 10-win season. And there's a bunch of New Mexico State guys here, Stinch, that played on that program, and he coached with that program last year. They give Newberry 5, almost 5.5. On that first play, and now we have a flag. This is, as Alyssa said, it's been a problem. Here's Jason Autry, today's referee.
False start, offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
That's the center.
Yeah, just flinched a little bit with the football. And you could see Christian Williams is pointing in there saying, hey, wait a minute. We're moving on the movement of the ball a little bit early that time. And we saw it last week versus Boston College. The crowd did have an impact on some of the later downs as far as being able to hear the cadence.
You'll see a number of backs always around Pavia. And this new look offense, Tim Beck, the offensive coordinator, Jerry Kill involved in the offense now. Fakes the handoff, then shovels it to Alexander. That's a live football. And it goes out of bounds back inside the 20. So a big loss on the play. Johnny Walker applied the pressure and forced a mistake by Pavia.
Covered by Vanderbilt. It's third down.
That's a loss of 8, Stench.
Yeah, he's doing too much right here. So we talk about the playmaking. Great job getting the defender off his feet. Christian Williams goes up for the deflection. But instead, you go for that pitch. It's well behind Newberry. Now we've already seen the crowd impacted.
Faroe Field is packed. On 3rd and 17, Pavia has to get out of there, facing the pressure, tiptoes the sideline, but it'll be a 3 and out for the Commodore offense. Dalen Carnell was the one that pushed Pavia out. Vandy has not scored on the opening series all season, and that remains true.
Of course, those big negative yardage plays, right, where you just cannot afford to go backwards.
Jesse Murko, the Australian, punts to the dangerous Luther Burden III, standing at his own 35-yard line. Murko's one of the best in the country. The Ohio State transfer, that's another cannon. Back to the 24 is LB3. Watch out! All the way up near the 48-yard line, a 54-yard punt by Murko, who outkicked his coverage, and Burden made him pay with a 24-yard return.
So he displays two of his greatest qualities, speed and a physical running with the ball in his hands. I mean, you just don't see him get tackled in the open field by the first guy that gets there. Ran through 2 before finally going down near midfield.
Stays on the field now in his slot position as the first offensive snap is at the 47 with Brady Cook in shotgun and Simsburden over there in the slot. Brady looks the other way and throws it to Noel out of the backfield. Nate, as Matt told you in the open, has been great out of the backfield. This guy is one of the best in school history. In last week's win versus Boston College, he went over 7,000 career passing yards.
It's just so quiet when you think about it. This guy is setting records here at Missouri. He's been an excellent playmaker in his own right, not just distributing the football, very quietly as he captains this offense at the number 17.
Noel picked up 3 on the catch, and he's going to lose yardage on the run here on second down. Miles Capers, the senior from Sumter, South Carolina, significant contributor, has been their best pass rusher this year. It's 3rd and 9.
Well, a big play on that second down. Well, Vanderbilt knows they have to get penetration versus Missouri offensively in their run game. Missouri wants to stretch your defense horizontally. You have to penetrate vertically like they did on that down.
And a good reminder here, C.J. Taylor is not out there for Vanderbilt. Called for targeting in the second half last week, so he's out for the first half in this game. As Alyssa told you in the open, so don't have one of the best defensive backs in the SEC on the field on a 3rd and 9, and Vandy looks confused. There's a flag down. Cook throws underneath, and it's too high for his intended target. Looking for Noel, it's 4th down.
Illegal formation, offense, left tackle not on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. Result of play is a 4th down.
They call that on big Marcus Bryant. You know, he was just too deep in the backfield. It's kind of an interesting alignment, really, because You know, the way that they had lined up, they had Corday Sittenauer at left defensive end. He actually got a hit on Brady Cook there towards the end.
And the penalties continue for both teams. Vanderbilt and Mizzou both commit one on their first offensive possession. Martell Height catches that punt from Luke Bauer. There are more flags on the field.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 23. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down, Vanderbilt. Timeout.
No score, but 2 penalties for Vandy, 1 for Mizzou so far, and we're not even 4 minutes in. In Como, 31-21 overall for Coach Drinkwitz. And can you believe what I'm about to say here, Stinch? Missouri has the longest current winning streak in the FBS at 7.
Unreal.
Everybody's beating up on each other these days, but Mizzou has not lost since the middle of last season. 3-0 to start the year and ranked 7th in the country. As they play some defense here against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Second drive for Vandy, pinned deep in their own territory after another penalty.
You think about the decision, Pavia trying to pitch late to Newberry that really backed up his offense after a pretty nice play to open up their opening possession.
It's Alexander, and Sed gives him some room. He gets out near the 12. They run the ball a lot. Almost Army, Navy, Paul Johnson at Georgia Tech a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, it's almost 2-1, really, the way that they've been running it this year. 125 rushes to just those 63 pass attempts, and a lot of that is because of the playmaking ability of Pavia at quarterback. They like to have the ball in his hands. He does have the option to keep it on a lot of their play calls.
Alexander, 5 on first down. It's Jones leaving the backfield, wants to throw it to him, does. And Alexander coming out of the backfield. That is a first down up past the 20. So Alexander with a 5-yard run and then a nice run after the catch for the first there.
You know, we talk about all the different playmakers for Missouri, but Alexander's the one that Vanderbilt has to get going, especially in the ground game. You think about all of those rushes. You know, almost half of those have been with Pavia having the ball in his hands. You want to run your quarterback, sure, but you need to have some diversity in that run game. Now they're getting Alexander involved as a back out of the backfield in the passing game.
And a fresh set of downs past the 20-yard line. Now swing it out, and that's Eli Stowers in his first touch. And Stowers is past the 30 for another first down. The converted quarterback used to be at Texas A&M and New Mexico State. Now he's a tight end for Vanderbilt, and it's a 14-yard catch.
Well, I love what they did. So you end up having another tight end and Cameron Johnson out there to be a blocker, trying to get the ball out of Pavia's hands quickly. They're doing an excellent job. It's like a run game extension. You just move that line of scrimmage to the perimeter.
He goes to the bench, but you still could see him take the snap and play some quarterback. He threw a touchdown pass earlier this season. Pavia fakes the handoff, wants to load up, does, downfield shot, and he's got it! Touchdown, Joseph McVeigh, 65 yards. The first catch of McVeigh's collegiate career and the longest play of the season.
Take a look at the top of your screen. It's eye discipline. You see, you just flinch a little bit at corner, get caught up in the backfield. You think Pavia is going to tuck and run it. They have not been a downfield passing offense, but it was more than enough for McVeigh to get behind Toriano Pride for the big play in the score.
Brock Taylor makes it 7-0 Vandy. Not 6 minutes in, 4 plays, 92 yards. And the true freshman from Earl, Arkansas, beat the defense, makes the catch from Pavia, and Vandy strikes first.
Can't see that a couple more times, man. It's bothering me. It's a distraction. Wow, what a rebound for Vanderbilt, huh? You come out, punt a ball, you're in the shadow of your own goalpost and go all the way down the field for a score.
It's a short kick. It will be fielded at the 2. And this is Johnson, Marquise Johnson, still on his feet. And he can't be wrestled down by the kicker, but they whistle him down. Brock Taylor will get credit for the tackle, which I'm sure he'll tell everyone about. Clark Lee is in charge of the tackling, not just as the head coach, but he's the defensive coordinator again for Vanderbilt. 4 seasons as the head coach. Was the defense coordinator at Notre Dame, and you see him. He's making the call stench on defense this season.
And you talk about the burden that is, because the head coaching responsibilities have expanded significantly in the new age. A lot of transfer portal responsibilities. So far, his unit did a great job of getting Missouri off the field.
Noel goes straight ahead and gets past the 30, down to Alyssa.
It's so interesting talking to Clark Lee about his new responsibilities now as defensive coordinator. Guys, obviously he feels right back at home, but he is spread pretty thin as the head coach and the defensive coordinator. He talked about the trust that he has to have in his offensive staff and in the offensive players to make sure they're getting everything they need to get done throughout the week while he's worried about the defense.
Yeah, what did he say, Alyssa? Delegating the scripting, I believe, as Noel gets loose. Gets past the 40 for 10 yards and a first down run for a guy that has looked so good so far this year.
And it's so interesting to think about the relationship with Diego Pavia, Jerry Kill, and Clark Lee. You have to wonder if Diego and Coach Kill don't come in with the type of relationship they have, if it works the way Vanderbilt has it set up this year.
It's a great point, Stitch. Basically given over the offense to Kill and to Beck. They're worried about Nate Noel. Clark Lee is right now 3 straight carries by Nate past the 45 up near the 46. And as you and I were driving to Columbia, you were saying you don't see much fall off from Cody Schrader, who set a school record with over 1,600 yards rushing last year.
No, I mean, when you think about that departure, lead the conference in rushing, and Noel's done a great job with their stretch zone looks. And they got big Marcus Carroll in the backfield. He's more of a downhill thumper than Noel.
Fake to Carroll. Cook throws underneath, dropped. It was thrown behind his intended target, Carroll. We were talking about that running back room. Carroll was the first team all Sun Belt tailback at Georgia State last year, beating out Nate Noel at App State for those honors. Jamal Roberts is the protector. He comes in on 3rd down situations, which is the case now. And Kewan Lacey also is a true freshman from Dallas that you'll see from time to time. And there is Roberts right next to Cook on this 3rd and 5. Brady throws, near side, first down ball into Vanderbilt territory. That's Marquise Johnson with his 11th catch of the year.
You can see getting that ground game going. You know, Noel on those 3 straight carries, one was just right downhill, inside run, and then they went back-to-back stretch runs. That is kind of the base staple in the Missouri offense run game, to get you running side to side.
Vandy territory. Cook looking to take a shot, nothing open, so he goes to a safety valve to Carroll, and Marcus gets close to a first down. Great protection there by the offensive line, and you see the balance that Mizzou has had on offense so far this year. And
how well that they have protected when they have passed the football. Only 1 sack allowed. Part of that is because Brady Cook's evasiveness. He's an athlete in the pocket, but the other is that he knows where he can go. They wanted to take a shot downfield on that last play, but he knows exactly where his escape hatch is and where the option is where he can check it down.
On 2nd and 3 after Jordan Harris goes in motion. They hand to Carroll. Carroll trying hard with that physical run to get close to a first down, but it'll be 3rd and short now.
That's the way Vanderbilt has to defend on the stretch. So you do a great job of getting penetration at the point. Turn him back inside. So you see that block. Cameron Johnson just could not get that horizontal movement. City gets knocked back, forces the back to make a cut where a hole isn't.
Brian Longwell was there. Brandon Fontenette, the TCU transfer on the backside, coming in there to force this 3rd down. And on 3rd and 2, Carroll runs right at him and gains the first. This follows his big center, Connor Tollison, to move the chains.
Great job by Carroll, right? Because you've got Langston Patterson, the linebacker for Vanderbilt, one-on-one in the hole. Carroll's able to just power right through that would-be tackle. Good job by the left side picking up everybody else, but that is a free hitter in the hole. Defensively, you would think you make that play. Great job by Carroll of getting the yardage needed.
And the physical back, Carroll, goes out, and the speedster Noel comes in. And this methodical drive, Cook pumps, and he can run too. Still on his feet near the 20. Pickup of 13 and another first down. Week 4 SEC football continues tonight at 7:45 Eastern when number 5 Ole Miss hosts Georgia Southern, and exclusively on ESPN Plus and SEC Network Plus, number 25 Texas A&M plays Bowling Green, and number 1 Texas with Arch Manning plays Louisiana Monroe. Each game also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Arch's first ever college start tonight.
Played pretty well in relief last week, that's for sure.
Cook rolls, throws, in stride to Burton. Touchdown, Tigers! That's Burton's 26th consecutive game with a catch. And his first one today is a 20-yard touchdown. Mizzou is perfect in the red zone this year. And 13 of the 16 times they've scored, it's been a touchdown. Blake Craig has been great kicking the football too.
Well, that's what happens. You get the ground game going, you get the defense leaning. Next thing you know, you just boot your quarterback out. It's too easy. Luther Burton in space and Mizzou on the board to tie it up. I'm so iconic. Fly down and see
Gives you 70.
Here in Columbia, Missouri, Kevin just hands me this. Vandy had a 92-yard touchdown drive. Mizzou answers with a 76-yard touchdown drive. Matthew?
It was set up by the ground game, so everything's going to be pushing this way. You're thinking stretch zone, okay? Watch this guy right here. That's Luther Burton. They end up getting the defense thinking run, run, run. See, the safety comes screaming down and run support up.
There's no
Sneak Luther Burton out there. Easy pitch and catch out in space. Even if you've got defenders waiting on Luther Burton, we've already seen it once in this game. So hard to get on the ground, but it's that stretch zone. It's that stretch run that opens things up for plays just like that. Really hard to defend.
You heard Jason Autry, the referee, in the background as you were showing us that, say they picked up the flag on the play. So Vandy does start back on offense at the 25-yard line after Diego Pavia's touchdown strike. Longest play of the season, 65-yard touchdown to Joseph McVeigh. Back to the ground, and it's Pavia keeping, puts his foot in the turf, and gets a few, Alyssa.
After that 65-yard touchdown, I watched Diego Pavia come over to the sideline. Of course, he was celebrating with McVeigh, but then he went immediately over to his offensive line, gave each of them a fist bump and said, "Great pass pro. That's what we need. Clark Lee was telling us this week he's not sure he's ever had a player who's echoed his messaging to the rest of the team as well as Diego Pavia does.
He said he was closest to me in the huddle all the time. It's only his 4th start here. He is the unquestioned leader of this Vanderbilt football team in 2024. After he gained 3 running, he keeps it again, and he gets near a first, taking a big hit. It'll be 3rd and 1 as Corey Flagg made the tackle. There's the family. That's some good get up we got. Oh, we're fired up today at watching brother run the football.
A lot going on, a lot of flair in that uniform right there. How about Diego Pavia lowering his shoulder? All 207 pounds of Diego Pavia. See if that ball ends up with Alexander on a carry downhill versus a really stout run defense in Mizzou.
Are the Tigers bluffing, or are they coming after Pavia here? It is Alexander, and it is a first down. Nice little shimmy there by Said. Marvin Burks makes the tackle.
You can see Missouri was committed to the line of scrimmage. Corey Flagg Jr., as you mentioned, was kind of up in that line of scrimmage. They did a great job, B gap to B gap. That was a great cut really by Alexander. Didn't seem like much, but in the backfield, that's the difference in a conversion and maybe a tackle for loss or no gain.
And a fresh set of downs now near the 40. And now Pavia. Look at that speed, stays upright and inbounds. Look at the tiptoeing. All the way down inside the 30. He'll be marked out at the 26.
How does he stay in bounds? It looked like he was going to step out for about 15 yards. And somehow, you talk about tight-roping. How? Multiple times. It looks like surely maybe that heel would drop out of bounds. What a play. And incidentally, that was not like there was no pass option. The receivers were all blocking. That was designed for Pavia to keep it from the get-go.
36 yards on a wire. All the way down to the 26 of Mizzou. And he throws. This time it's incomplete. Off the hands of Cole Spence.
Well, that time there was an RPO, so he felt the slot pressure. Great decision. Just could not make the connection out there to Cole Spence. You see that time, Missouri, we're saying, look, all right, on that pull read, at the very least, we're going to hurry up the quarterback's clock. And that time it paid off.
Yeah, Dalen Carnell in his kitchen. 2nd and 10 now for Diego. Fakes the sweep, throws the bubble. Inside the 25, inside the 20, it's Stowers. And the big tight end gives Vandy another first.
Tim Beck, offensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, in his bag right now. So you go heavy play action to set up that screen. Well executed, not necessarily well blocked in the open field. Once again, Missouri open field tackling an issue. 2 opportunities. Get Stowers on the ground. Great job of staying on his feet to pick up another 5 or 7 yards.
It's only the 2nd time the Mizzou defense has been in the red zone.
This full house backfield.
Fake the handoff. Will he option? He'll keep. And down inside the 5. Could be the last play of the quarter if Pavia wants it to be. Could walk all the way over to the other end. Clark Lee doesn't give much advice, but he may have just said something to Tim Beck in his headset there about, hey, let's just take our time and march all the way down to the other end. Vandy's on the doorstep, tied at 7 at the end of the first quarter. First SEC conference matchup of the season for both, and it's a tie game in Columbia, Missouri after one.
So we got to execute here to finish, and then, you know, we got to generate some stops defensively. I thought their last drive bled us out a little bit. It's all about first and second down efficiency on defense to force a third down stop. So it'll be a long day back and forth, but, you know, I like the competitive spirit so far.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks
so much.
It's 2nd and 3 at the Mizzou 4 to start the second quarter. That's Newberry, and he is stoned. He gets nothing. It'll be third down. Chris McClellan has been terrific in the interior of that defensive front for Mizzou so far this year.
It's been much more stout for Missouri at defensive tackle. No running room that time downhill. And you watch how this Vanderbilt offense, they flip their offensive line left to right based on the strength. Here comes the Faurot Field crowd.
Pavia, down he goes at the 10. Zion Young gets home.
This is a keep all the way. Trying to get the defense to commit down inside. You bring your motion man coming in. Pavia, he pulls it. Zion Young is in his lap by the time that decision is made.
Defensive coordinator Corey Batoon said, we are going to dial up the pressure this week on the quarterback. And Young did that there, the Michigan State transfer. Now Brock Taylor from 27 yards to give Vanderbilt the lead. And it's 10-7 Commodores. 2 straight scoring drives for Vandy to take this 3-point advantage.
At Sonic, live free, eat Sonic.
It's not Halloween yet, is it? It's next month, but hey, wear the masks. Works, especially if you're sitting on the rocks in that end zone. That end zone's about to be enclosed with this brand new, beautiful facility that will be unveiled next year. It's a short kick. On a bounce, it gets past Mizzou at the 4. It's Burks in a world of trouble, and he's tackled. They're going to give him forward progress inside the 2.
Wow, you kick it to the hole in the return game instead of hanging one up there. Because we've already seen the return game almost pop one. So they sky kick it across the field, and it's too far upfield to field it cleanly. Burks, he ends up retreating. You see the coverage team, you talk about tight roping. Man, it looked to me like he retreated. They say the ball was at the 2-yard line when he was established down.
And the handoff goes straight ahead up to the 7-yard line, so they get out of there, and Noel gives them a little bit of comfort on this second down. It's a smart kick there on the kickoff by Taylor.
He sees a couple of dangerous return men. Wow, near calamity for the Missouri kickoff return team.
And now on 2nd and 6. Cook barely got that out of Noel's belly, kept it himself, and you can see there was some confusion there.
No question. Noel thought it was a fumble. You could see him right when he got to the line of scrimmage. He spun around. He and Cook were talking about it. Exchange. You can see Noel's like that ball kind of got hung on my hip. Cook's sitting there going, look, man, that was a pull all the way. Wow, you talk about a couple of plays now from Missouri, almost to safeties. You see Langston Patterson being attended to, linebacker for Vanderbilt.
He's the leading tackler. Last year he didn't even start, and he was the leading tackler. And this year is the middle of that defense, and still is the leading tackler. Junior from Nashville. Big brother Kane came over and played the last couple of years with him, and that's who Clark Lee talks to on every play. has to come out.
He's the green dot, so he gets communicated. Watch, it looks like big Demarion Thomas at the end of this play. Rolls up on that left ankle. This is where a lot of injuries, that's why they say you don't ever get caught standing around the pile. Watch this ball handling. And actually, you know what? It's a lot cleaner than I think Noel thought. Noel was concerned about it. Brady Cook looked to me like he possessed that ball all the way. Noel thought maybe it was on the floor.
And on a 3rd and 5 with Patterson off of the field underneath throw, and Weiss's extra effort's going to get him the first.
Well, cool in the pocket is Brady Cook, standing in his own end zone and able to work all the way back to Theo Weiss Jr. We talked about him in the open. This guy has been clutch, one-handed catch to get that conversion.
Nick Rinaldi is in the game now, replacing Langston Patterson on that Vandy defense. Cook play action, throws, but it's incomplete. Off target, looking for Weiss again. Weiss, by the way, now 22 catches on the year. A graduate player. Coach Drinkwitz is frustrated by his offense's inability to get in rhythm yet.
Well, I will say it, Vanderbilt's done a good job of affecting Brady Cook as a passer. Only 4 pass rushers, but they've been able to make him move off his spots, affecting the accuracy.
And there's Patterson just making sure he's okay. Looks pretty good coming out of that tent. 2nd and 10. And Noel again, look at this. Nate can have some speed, and he stays on his feet into near Vanderbilt territory.
Well, they got Vanderbilt running downhill. So watch Nick Rinaldi. Watch him. He's going to trigger up into the line of scrimmage. So you shoot a gap, you got to get through. He doesn't. He gets hung up. Noel, if there's any daylight, does a great job of putting his foot in the ground and getting upfield.
And to make matters worse, there's another Vanderbilt player down. It's DeRicky Wright, who's been an all SEC level safety for Vandy for years, with 5 career interceptions.
You know, so far in this one, Taylor, for Vanderbilt, you see Wright walking off under his own power. You'd like to think he'll come back. That's a big body in the secondary, 6'4", nearly 220 pounds. It's like a linebacker with a 20-yard head start on a lot of these run support plays.
But while he goes out, Patterson does come back in.
They still don't have C.J. Taylor in that back end now without DeRicky Wright, both intended starting safeties.
And the freshman Dante Carter takes Wright's spot.
See if Mizzou looks to take a shot here at midfield.
1st and 10 underneath the Burton. He doesn't get much. Luther's bottled up. Another good tackle by Fontenette.
You know, the playbook is more than anything else, keep a lid on this offense. You do your best to try to keep that ground game from getting going. And that's how Mizzou got in the end zone last time with the stretch zone. Can you stop the run and still be able to keep safeties back?
And 2nd down, Cook to Noel. Nate has nowhere to run.
Another good job. You know, the play is you try to stop the wave. You got to kind of set that wall. You hear about setting the edge. That time did a great job of setting the edge. It's like Aeneas DeCosma turning that ball back inside and forcing the ball carriers to cut up.
Just saw C.J. Taylor on the bench. He gets to come back for the 3rd quarter. Targeting call, got ejected in the 2nd half last week against Georgia State. Not allowed to play in this 1st half. On 3rd down, Cook throws, and it's a good ball and a good catch by Mookie Cooper. They keep saying they like to look his way on 3rd down, and they did there. And it's another 1st down, 18 yards for Mookie.
And again, Brady Cook, great job. Just presses up in the pocket, sees what he has downfield, takes a shot. And Mookie Cooper, who they mentioned on 3rd downs, that's really where they want to go with the football. He only had 2 catches on 3rd down coming into this game.
6 different receivers Cook has already found. This is Marcus Carroll, and Carroll doesn't get much. You even saw it on that play there. Kirby Moore, the offensive coordinator, is on that walkie-talkie at the top of your screen. He's the second-year offensive coordinator and play caller, talking to Brady Cook. A lot of shifting and motion that's going on in the backfield, trying to confuse that Vanderbilt defense. We've seen him do that a lot, calling the plays the last 2 years.
Yeah, and you always saw it under Drinkwitz after the snap. A lot of eye candy, but now they do a lot of pre-snap trades and motions, just like this one here.
On 2nd and 9, he calls a passing play for Cook. Underneath, throws behind the target, Mekhi Miller, and here comes a late hit penalty on Vandy.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on a defensive player, defense number 20. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot includes an automatic first down.
It's Prince Colley.
So Colley in coverage. And yeah, you know, you take one extra step, it's obvious. I'll tell you, if you're Colley right there, the ball is poorly thrown. It's off target and behind the intended receiver. Colley had a chance to make a play on the ball, much less trying to blow up a receiver. See if you can generate a takeaway right there. Instead, you cost your team yardage and a refresh set of downs.
Cook, here's the little flip ahead to Burton. There are flags all over the field again. Another good open field tackle. It was made by Langston Patterson.
We've seen different versions of this play multiple times. Great job by Patterson. A holding call. The backside of that play.
Holding, offense number 74. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
It's the 20th offensive penalty of the season on Coach Drinkwitz's Tigers. We saw Vanderbilt commit the penalty before that. Clark Lee talked all week about how those penalties were a big part of the loss last week to Georgia State. And these pre-snap penalties and then the holding penalties too have been the issue for Vandy.
He just reached up, Cameron Johnson grabbed his jersey to torque him down. Don't need to do it, it's a double team and an outside run. Easy call.
Back to the 26, and it's Noel hitting the hole hard, getting the corner, and getting near a first down inside the 10. Brian Longwell on the tackle.
A great run by Noel. And if you're Clark Lee, you've got to be frustrated. You're sitting there going, wow, the offense is shooting itself in the foot. It just finds that backside crease. You see him, guys get running horizontally, no knockback.
Going into that play, he had 73 yards, and he moves the ball down to the 5 near the first down. Brian Longwell on the stop for Noel. Coaches say he has a different gear, Stinch.
The guys got a good eye for what they want to do offensively. Noel's got a great feel for it. He knows when he needs to cut it up and hit it downhill and when he needs to stretch it until the hole actually pops open.
It is short, and it's Marcus Carroll, the big physical back.
Yeah.
It comes in, leaving the backfield. Cook looks his way, keeps himself short. Tackled in the backfield by Issa Wataha, the German, one of many European players that Coach Lee has, and it's 4th down. And Coach Drinkwitz elects to take the points.
Playing the long game, right? Makes sense. Be able to move the football here. It looked like Cook was a little indecisive trying to time up his run. Held on to it just for a second. Knew he was going to keep it, obviously, in an empty backfield.
It's just 4 games into the season. Oh, Blake Craig missed it. 23 yards, hits that right upright. Craig has been terrific so far. And Vandy's defense makes a stand. That's the first empty red zone possession for Mizzou this year.
He struck the ball well, it just wasn't accurate. Those goalposts are still bouncing around. Vanderbilt, maybe the best play of that drive was by the right upright. And Mizzou comes away empty-handed.
Dari playing USC and UCLA in the same season. Meanwhile, how about that? Vandy on first down has gained all but 25 of their yards in this first half.
Unreal. How about that for efficiency?
Diego Pavia in shotgun, turns, hands. That's Monty Jones who will fall forward. And not only has their offense been good on first down, the defense just gets off the field on a 13-play, 91-yard drive that took over 6.5 minutes, but no Missouri points.
Really just kind of milks that clock. You could see, earlier Vanderbilt was in no big hurry. They're happy to shorten this football game. They are more run-oriented. So to drive that football all the way down and come away with no points, that plays into Vanderbilt's favor here in the first half.
Saw Jerry Kill over there on the sideline talking to Monty Jones. This is Diego Pavia. Maybe we should call these guys the New Mexico State Commodores.
Yeah.
They all came from there last year. Pavia hands to Alexander. And Cedric gets up past the 25. It'll be third down.
A heavy formation. So you got a tight end and what is effectively a fullback and Gabe Fisher in there. So you've got a lead blocker. Really a good job by Alexander just to pick up any yardage right there to try to get it to third and manageable. Keeping in mind, we know that Pavia, he was able to hit a shot earlier when he was forced up in the pocket. And out of an empty backfield, they still have that run threat as long as number 2 is in a quarterback.
Pavia going down. Nowhere to run. Chuck Hicks got him.
Well, Eddie Kelly Jr. is the one that really gets this going. So he wins right now. Watch him come up and under the would-be protection of Chase Mitchell. See, Pavia tries to flush. It's a big reason why they tell quarterbacks, don't ever turn your back to the line of scrimmage. He spins right into Hicks.
And Luther Burden is standing in his own 40. Well, Jesse Mirko will kick from his own end zone. Couple of bounces, he fields it at the 36. And he's inside the Vandy
40. Just so dangerous. When you look at it, what a fantastic performance to flip the field, and there is a flag on the play.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 0 of the return team. The 10-yard penalties from the spot of the foul will be first down, Mizzou. Timeout.
Negates some of that yardage from Burden. An All-American and one of the best you'll see in college football.
So Missouri with great field position. You see Jamal Roberts, number 20 from Missouri, blocking the back. Negated what was otherwise a fantastic return by Luther Burden. Would have given Missouri excellent field position. Still, they got half a football field to go.
And Coach Drinkwitz doesn't understand how all of a sudden there's a Vanderbilt player that's down. It's Dante Carter, who just came in the game for DeRicky Wright.
It's unseasonably warm. Those cramps just bubble up out of nowhere.
Freshman from San Antonio, Texas. Alyssa, what's going on with DeRicky Wright?
Well, DeRicky was in the injury tent for quite a while. He came out. I'm watching him on the sidelines right now. He was just out on the field. He just put his helmet on. He's not actively doing anything right now, but I have observed him walking with a slight limp. So we'll see if he can get back out there. Already missing C.J. Taylor.
They put in Marlon Sewell instead now with 2 of those defensive backs out. Cooks throws, and it's at the feet of his intended target, Cooper. So for Vanderbilt in the secondary right now, Stinch, DeRicky Wright injured already in the game. Taylor just goes out with targeting last week, so he's not in the first half this week. Carter's out with cramps. It's a lot of bodies that Vandy's missing in that secondary.
And a secondary that has had its difficulties this season so far, now shorthanded in the back end.
We just saw Trudell Berry and Jalen Gilbert out there on the field. 2nd and 10. Hitting the hole hard is Noel. Boy, that guy's got a burst, doesn't he? It's another first down run for Nate. He's approaching 100 yards already in the game. That's 16 more.
Yes, it's not just Noel. Lots of offensive front. I mean, that's just a thing of beauty. That's exactly how you block it up. Great job climbing up to the 2nd level.
And Cook going quickly. Underneath, it's Noel. And he gets out of bounds with 3:51 left in the half. Mizzou does have all of its timeouts.
And Vanderbilt continues to take away the downfield options. Brady Cook has wisely found somewhere to go with the football, checking it down multiple times now in this game to the backs out of the backfield. But Vanderbilt has done a pretty good job in their pass rush with just 4 rushers, just the 4 down linemen on the line of scrimmage. Have not seen them bring much pressure.
Noel out, Carroll in, Norfleet in motion. Cook throws on a slant, good ball, and a first down to Makai Miller. Look, the junior from Overland Park, Kansas's way a couple of times.
Easy access throw, and it couldn't have come at a better time right there, because I just got done saying they haven't brought pressure. Sure enough, here they come downhill. Brian Longwell. Brady Cook does a great job, right on time, rhythm throw, puts it right on his hands for the first down.
1st and 10 with the clock running inside 2:45. Brady back, throws inside the 10. It's Carroll. Out the back door he went. Patterson saved the touchdown, 1st and goal.
Pretty slick play design there. We talked about it. Boy, the backs, I figured, much more prominently in the passing game than what we've typically seen from this offense.
Now, Coach Drinkwitz and Kirby Moore and Brady Cook don't have to run a play here if they don't want before the 2-minute timeout. There's more time on the play clock, but they do. And Carroll is bottled up, doesn't get much there. Aeneas to Cosmo on the tackle. It'll be 2nd and goal, Missouri, when we return.
We shall see. See you guys shortly.
Thank you, my friends. Nate Newell in the backfield following Jordan Harris, and he can't get past this Vandy front. Linus Zunk on the tackle.
Knockback. You have to have knockback on the stretch zone. And once again, you mentioned it, Zonk. It's a great job. You just get upfield. You can't get downhill as a runner. Now, we've seen before, Taylor, in this instance, where you get the defense leaning heavy run, even though, so now they've got 3 receivers outside, just a 1 back in the backfield.
Yeah, timeout, Clark Lee. There was some
use.
There were uncovered receivers at the top.
One of those was Luther Bird.
So, Stinch, tell us about how Missouri got into this position inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, they did a great job. It's interesting play design. So they know that defenses are paying attention to this guy. So here's Luther Bird, and he's going to go through and then back out, this little Saturn motion. Watch the effect that that has on the linebacker and the safety as Carroll leaks out of the backfield. So Burden comes through. Now he comes back around, pulls both of those. And you see Carroll just gets out. There's no one. Here he is. There's nobody to come back. Great job of rallying to the football to deny the touchdown. Excellent play design to win those eyes of the 2nd and 3rd level defenders for Vanderbilt.
Who touches the football here on 3rd and goal if you're Mizzou?
They come out in the exact same formation. Burns the middle of the 3 receivers up top. But it's a lighter box. There's a very real chance what you end up seeing is a QB keep run right here.
Cook looking, throwing, and it's off of the defender with Makai Miller covered up. Brandon Fontenette, they hit his leg. It's 4th down.
Well, Fontenette has had one heck of a first half. Fontenette right there with Miller.
No, that's, excuse me, that's Marlon Sewell
I
there.
see, yeah, Sewell there. Good job of running right with Miller. Got that right hand, just batted it away. He's running out of real estate anyway.
Well, just a moment ago, Craig missed. And now he's got a 23-yarder and it ties the game up.
If you're Vanderbilt, you have to feel thrilled with how it turned out. That's 2 trips into your red zone and back-to-back Missouri possessions that you were able to allow only 3 points after those 2 trips. Fortuitous, right? See that great punt return? That drive for Missouri could have started even deeper in Vanderbilt territory. Instead, the penalty pushed them back, and they were able to find a way to get that field goal attempt.
Clark Lee is not going to go over to review things on the iPad, but he's going to let Steve Gregory and the rest of the team look, as Mizzou does the same. A rules change this year permits the use of this sideline technology, and teams from the SEC are excited to be using iPad Pro and iPad Air to review multiple angles of in-game film so coaches and players can make these real-time adjustments, allowing athletes to compete at the highest level. It's important to note that both home and away teams will have iPad to ensure a competitive balance on the playing field. Multiple video angles are available as well, so the coaches can see what's happening in real time. And I just wonder when the National Football League will start doing the same.
When's the NFL going to catch up to college football now?
So 1:17 to go, and Vandy will be back on offense at the 25-yard line. Eli Drinkwitz thinks there's a couple of things you have to watch in every game, Stinch. One is the explosive plays, the other are third down conversions, and he loves the middle 8 of the game. The last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. His team gets the football first in the second half, just kick that field goal, but Vandy does have 1:17 left, and they do have 2 of their timeouts.
They do, and as does Missouri. So there's a chance, depending on how this offensive possession starts out for Vanderbilt, Missouri might try to stop the clock and preserve some possession here in the first half.
Great point, because your kicker has a cannon for a leg.
You saw Drink talking to the side judge a moment ago.
There's a flag down. Pavia is going to lose a yard. Chris McClellan there to
Illegal formation. Offense, number 55 was not on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. Missouri is elected to start the clock on the snap. Second down.
Wow, so that's 2 different left tackles they've called in this game for being too far in the backfield pre-snap. Earlier, they called Missouri left tackle Marcus Bryant for doing that. This time, they get Gunnar Hansen. 4 seconds ran off the clock.
Pavia hands to Alexander, and Cedric goes past the 30, where Burks will make the tackle, and Coach Drinkwitz will use one of those timeouts.
Drink saying, look, I think we got a good chance getting stopped right here.
Missouri's called timeout. Please put 1 minute 7 seconds, 1:07 on the clock.
Coming up in halftime, you can watch the live performance of Marching Mizzou on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. Another nice day here at Faurot Field. The rain is gone. Another packed house. 10th straight sellout in Como to watch the 7th-ranked Tigers. It's the second straight week they've had a 60-minute fight, too. At least 30-minute fight today. 60 minutes last week against Boston College. Won that game by 6. Trailed 14-3 at one point and scored 24 unanswered points. And Vanderbilt has proven to be a worthy opponent so far. They want to convert a 3rd and 5 here.
You see that Missouri defense has dominated the second quarter. -6 total yards.
Pavia, it's tipped, and it's incomplete. Tiger defensive lineman Christian Williams got his hand on it. 4th down.
It's
and
a
the clock
touchdown.
stops.
It's a touchdown if he works to the left side of the field. Watch Quincy Skinner right here at the bottom of your screen. 6. He wins right now. The safety is on the logo in the middle of the field. Pavia already determined where he wanted to go with the football. If he works the left side of that formation on a certain one-on-one matchup, different story.
Instead, the clock stop, and Mirko has to punt to Burden. 2 great returns already. Calls for the fair catch here. A 44-yard punt. And Missouri will have 2 timeouts in 57 seconds. Remember, you were here last week, and Blake Craig kicked a 56-yard field goal. So you need, what, 30 yards or so to give him a chance?
That's exactly what. So great job by our cameraman down there. They caught Coach Drinkwitz. He told the side judge, basically, hey, look, I'm going to be taking timeout. 2nd down, I'll be taking a timeout, which is exactly what he did. They still have a weapon at place kicker. Look at Craig. He pulverized that right upright before, basically obliterated it. He just has to make it inside the left upright now.
Empty backfield. Cook goes underneath. Burden turns. And that athleticism and physicality, how about the effort, gets him a 1st down. The clock stops as they move the chains.
You know, that offensive possession by Vanderbilt only burned 20 seconds off the clock.
That one is deflected at the line, and the clock stops with 43 seconds. Wataha. The Germans not only love David Hasselhoff, they love Vanderbilt defensive line football with Wataha and Zunk.
It's a natural marriage. Obviously, David Hasselhoff and Vanderbilt Commodore defensive line play. Great job at 6'7", getting your hands up in the passing lane.
On 2nd and 10, Cook. Deep ball, Burden beat him, incomplete. Might have heard the footsteps of Marlon Sewell, who was down there.
I don't know how Marlon Sewell didn't have a more direct play on the ball. And you're right. You know, Burden might have felt the safety in there closing in. Watch Sewell tracking this football. Did not touch it, really. You know, he kind of runs through Burden. Burden's got a chance to make this, and yeah, you know, really Marlon Sewell is kind of incidental. Burden just drops that.
So now it's 3rd and 10. Timeout.
Prior to the snap, timeout was called by Vanderbilt. It's their 2nd of the half and 30 seconds in left.
Tonight, SEC football final with Dari Noko, Chris Doring, and Benjamin Watson take you through the biggest stories of the day and break down all the SEC games, 11 Eastern on the SEC Network and the ESPN app, or whenever Ole Miss and Georgia Southern are done. Got a handful, maybe more, college football playoff contenders in the Southeastern Conference, raiding the top 7 of the Associated Press. 6 teams from the SEC in the top 7, including these Mizzou Tigers.
What's so cool, Taylor, is they end up playing each other, right? You know,
Like
Missouri,
next week, Alabama
exactly
plays
right.
Georgia. Yeah,
That's right. You know, Missouri only sees one of those teams.
They have their hands full with Vandy so far today. 3rd and 10 for Mizzou at their own 40.
Only 3 rushers shown for Vanderbilt right here, playing coverage.
Cook has plenty of time. Look at that pocket. Throws underneath the Weiss. And Theo's going to be a couple yards short.
Weiss trying to get upfield. Nice tackle. Keep him in bounds. Clock continues to tick.
And Cook is going to come out here on 4th down as he just... Oh, he is going to snap it. It's 4th and 3, and he takes the sack. What a roll of the dice, and Corday Sidnor sacks him with 8 seconds to go.
So you've got time now if you're Vanderbilt. the very least, you take a shot, try to move the ball upfield and attempt a field goal. To take a sack right there, negative yardage play on 4th down, didn't even look like he was seeking to scramble.
You wondered if they were just trying to draw Vandy off sides, but in fact, they run the play, and Sidnor, who has been out for a couple of weeks with an ankle injury, is limping off the field. The Purdue transfer made the sack there.
So clock's running. You send your guys back out there for a 4th down attempt. If you don't get it, Vanderbilt still has an opportunity. Sidnor's sitting there going, hey, I think I saw a flinch. Regardless, nowhere to go with the football, and Cook ends up eating this thing.
And Brock Taylor has a big leg too. He made a 53-yarder against Virginia Tech. Get a handful of yards here and give him a chance. Pavia moves the pocket, throws, and it's caught by Stowers out of bounds at the 39. 2 seconds left, and let's see if they bring Taylor on to attempt this long field goal. They will. Sophomore from Knoxville, Tennessee, 5 of 6 kicking field goals, and that long against Virginia Tech from 53. This will be a 57-yard attempt. And Coach Drinkwitz will call timeout.
So you think about this turn of events, right? This attempt doesn't even exist. Kick that ball away, you're forcing them, and flags are just dead. And you look a little bit higher, though. That's it, just above. You see the flags blowing out now. Be with the kick. What do you think, Taylor? You're the golfer.
That's downwind. That's a club wind right now. Tom Schofield could get an 8-iron there.
He swings out of his shoes. Maybe he's doing those Russian twists to get loose. Regardless, a chance for Vanderbilt to even out the score in the middle 8.
Julian Ashby to snap it. Jesse Mirko to hold it. And Brock Taylor to kick it from 57 yards. There is a man back there for Mizzou if this is short. Taylor got it!
Wow.
Vanderbilt takes the 13-10 lead at the break.
Wow, I mean, striped it. And I think your club wind came in handy, Taylor.
Vanderbilt leads Missouri 13-10. Mizzou will receive the second half kickoff. Again, to recap here, Corday Sidnor sacked Brady Cook on a 4th down on Mizzou's side of the field, and then Brock Taylor made them pay with 3 free points. Let's send it to the Auto Owners Insurance halftime report. Here's Darian Oka. Surprise, surprise, though, Vanderbilt leads number 7 Mizzou 13-10 at the break. We welcome you back to Faurot Field. He's Matt, I'm Taylor. You'll see Alyssa in just a second, and we didn't see that coming in the first half, did we?
No, definitely not, especially the way the second quarter went. When you think about the way that half ended, really kind of unforeseen when you think about the way Vanderbilt was completely shut down offensively. -2 total yards in the second quarter, and yet somehow they outscored Missouri 6-3.
Let's talk about this week's secret recipe brought to you by Bush's Grillin' Beans. So this is the end of half sequence. 4th down on your side of the field, take a sack, it leads to a completion out of bounds, and then Brock Taylor from 57 yards, bang.
Definitely not the way Missouri had sought to end that half. You know, Vanderbilt had already been stopped. They took over with 1:17. Missouri called a couple of timeouts, trying to preserve some clock so they could get a scoring opportunity, and it backfired.
Mizzou does get the football first, and they will take it from the 1. There is a flag down out past the 25-yard line. As Johnson, the return man, got it out to where they typically would receive the ball if it were a touchback. But let's see what Jason Autry has to say.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, kicking team, number 37. The 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the run with a first down Mizzou.
So that gives Eli Drinkwitz good field position. What did he have to say to you, Alyssa?
Yeah, guys, I caught up with Coach Drinkwitz coming out of the locker room, and I asked him about the logic on going for it on 4th and 3 with 8 seconds left in the half in your own territory. He said it was stupid. Dumb decision by me as the head coach. I said, what else did you say to the team in the locker room? He said, we got to take it one play at a time and close this thing out.
Taking responsibility for that. And his team has great field position to start the second half. Controlled the football in that quarter, even though they scored less points than Vanderbilt. Cook just gets out of there and runs for a few yards as Demarion Thomas makes the tackle.
And I'll tell you, Taylor, you know, Missouri's lucky to have with the football where they do. We watched that kickoff a couple of times. Looked like there were 2 blatant holds. Didn't see the face mask penalty on Vanderbilt.
Now Cook underneath throw, and it's a good one up to the 49 to Norfleet. It'll be 3rd and short. Cook's numbers are pretty good, 13 for 20 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Noel has 92 yards rushing, and Burton has a touchdown reception. But Mizzou trails Vandy here to start the 3rd, and it's a 3rd and 3.
Missouri kind of jumped the football after that completion.
Cook with time. Throws, caught by Norfleet right at the marker.
Yeah, it looked like he was right there. You see where they marked this football.
It's a first down.
Change, yeah. You know, it's interesting. So you come out here this opening possession, as you see Missouri, they're over the football quicker, trying to jump into their tempo offense.
You saw clearly past the yellow line there, but a long time before the officials spotted it. Noel now runs. He's approaching 100 yards. We said at 92 in the first half as Capers makes the stop there.
Some stoppage. And it looks like, yeah, they're going to, looks like Mizzou was a little bit shaken up at the end of that play. The officials blew their whistles to allow Mizzou to sub out. Felt like that very first call, right? They talk about Brady Cook, for him to get into the rhythm offensively, he likes to carry the football. It's like it kind of catalyzes his offensive production.
Armand Mizzou, the right tackle you're referring to, out. Mitchell Walters in. 2nd and 6. Cook caught inside the 35. Another fresh set of downs. Marquise Johnson with another grab.
All these underneath throws. Great job once again by Cook managing the pressure. Pass rusher in his face. Just kind of faded out just enough to be able to get that ball downfield to Johnson. Vanderbilt, they're allowing the catch and then rallying to the tackle.
Missouri's dominating the time of possession. Had the football over 17 minutes in the game. That was coming into this half. Now Cook on a design run, runs into his lineman as pressure was applied there. That's Christian James.
I mean, this play, watch the power of Christian James. He lifts Cameron Johnson up out of his shoes. Just outstanding power. Boom. I mean, you made the tackle with the offensive lineman.
It's a 6th tackle for loss today for Vanderbilt, and it's 2nd and 16 now back at the Vandy 39. Cook surveys, runs, and gives himself up just a couple of yards ahead of where that ball was spotted. Ryan Longwell right there to make another tackle, 3rd and long.
Once again, nowhere to go with the football downfield. So we talked about Vanderbilt has very rarely brought pressure. They have been able to affect Cook as a passer with just their 4 designated rushers, keeping 2 safeties out, dropping the linebackers into coverage underneath.
Third and 14, C.J. Taylor out there on the field after sitting out the first half due to that targeting penalty last week. Underneath, incomplete. A hand might have been on that football as he was looking for Jamal Roberts. It's 4th down and a long field goal attempt upcoming.
So we'll see. Craig already in this game missed the chip shot earlier. Where is his confidence as a place kicker? I said he's got a tremendous leg. Nailed one last week from 50 plus.
That was from 56. This, they're saying, is 55. That is just a machine for a leg. Into the wind, too. You wondered after you lose Harrison Mevis how you replace him. Well, you go get a redshirt freshman from Kansas City who now has 3 50-plus yard field goals on the season. And he's tied the score again, 13 all. Game on in Como. Riding in honor of loved ones impacted by cancer. Together they're aspiring to raise more than $1 million for the V Foundation to make a profound difference for cancer patients by raising money for research. Amazing effort there. 13 apiece, and this new Vanderbilt offense in part is led by that man. This is his title. Jerry Kill now is the chief consultant to the head coach and senior offensive advisor. I don't know if you can fit that on a business card, Jerry. Of course, he used to be the head coach at Minnesota and New Mexico State, among various other places. And Clark Lee, the head coach, has turned over this offense to Jerry and offensive coordinator Tim Beck, and Vanderbilt has an identity again. Well, 1st and 10 for Diego Pavia. There's a drop on the ground, live ball. Pavia jumps on it. He's trying to get it to Junior Sherrill, and Sherrill couldn't field that sweep.
And on that, Sherrill's got to come to the football. Pavia's reading, so his eyes are on the defense. When you're the intended ball carrier with any of these read-type plays and handoffs, the ball carrier has to come to the ball. That time, Sherrill was too far off of Pavia. He could not get it into the pocket. Another negative yardage play. We've seen that's the 3rd one now.
That's Sherrill running around behind Pavia, who throws to the sideline. Similar play that got him into field goal range. Just gets a few yards as Stowers makes the catch. Now 3rd and long for Vandy.
Yeah, the negative yardage plays are just that much more impactful for this Vanderbilt offense. It is not comfortable in the obvious passing downs. We've already seen the crowd impact with procedure penalties as well. They don't want to get to the obvious passing downs. Those ball handling errors that we've seen in this game to get them into 3rd and 10 plus have been really impactful.
Pavia's under pressure again. There's a flag down as well. He took a huge hit as he threw that football. He was looking for Eli Stowers.
Illegal formation. Offense number 50 was not on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. Result to play is 4th down.
Khalil Jacobs was in Pavia's kitchen.
Yeah, so end up getting an illegal formation here, but watch the blitz that ends up coming. So it looks like you're only going to rush 3, looping all the way around with Khalil Jacobs, who ends up flushing Pavia. That's the third illegal formation we've heard seen called in this game.
And Mirko has to punt it again to the dangerous Luther
Wow.
Burden. Another bomb, and it's fielded at the 25, a 54-yard punt. Mizzou's defense has done their part. 5 of Vandy's 7 drives have gone for 10 yards or less, but they're deadlocked here at 13. Think of it, Vandy had those 2 scoring drives and then got the football back in great scoring position, but other than that, Mizzou's defense has held their own.
Oh, they've completely, really locked down Vanderbilt offensively, which makes it all the more, unbelievable that somehow Vanderbilt outscored Missouri 6-3 in that second quarter. That's a huge punt to flip the field to force the Mizzou offense deeper into their own territory.
Brady Cook trying to get this offense going. Cook takes a shot and is deflected. Incomplete, down to Alyssa.
It feels really important for Missouri, guys. We talked about their last offensive drive. While it resulted in that 3-point field goal, it felt clunky, and the players are getting frustrated. I watched the offensive line come over to the bench, throwing helmets, not necessarily being kind to the chairs. Frustrations are definitely running high. They've got to get something going here to build some momentum.
Well, and Miles Capers just deflected that pass from Cook. Second down, turn in hand to Noel. He's been a bright spot. He's over 100 yards rushing with that run right there.
That's a great play call into the front that Vanderbilt was playing. 3 down. They were heavy inside already. You saw this to start this half. Jumping the football with tempo.
3rd and 2. It's Noel again. Breaks free. Watch out. He can fly, and he's down inside the 5. The ball did come out, but it was the ground that caused it. 1st and goal, Missouri.
Vanderbilt got aggressive on the 3rd down. They brought safety right in the middle of the defense. And the scary part about that is if the runner could pop past the line of scrimmage, you don't have a whole lot of help. Yeah, he definitely possessed the football all the way to the ground.
The runner was down to the 3-yard line prior to losing possession. 1st down, Mizzou.
Yeah.
64-yard run for Noel, and that is Martell Height that's injured at the goal line.
What a run by Noel.
And there's Height coming into the camera, and he is still down right there.
They tried to hatchet it out. The ball moved initially when Height came in with that tomahawk, but to me it looked like Noel very much regained control before he went to the ground.
Seems to be all right as he goes over to the bench.
Great hustle play by Height to prevent the touchdown.
It's the longest Missouri play of the season.
Vanderbilt had brought C.J. Taylor, their safety, on a safety blitz. Who incidentally was back in the lineup. So see Nate Noel. Man, well, that really pads the stats on that last run.
He's out. And Carroll comes in on this 1st and goal inside the 3. Carroll, touchdown, Missouri. Noel was terrific at App State, over 3,000 rushing yards, but Carroll was 1st team all Sun Belt coming over from Georgia State. Those 2 guys have been the top story so far from Mizzou's offense. And this is their 1st lead today.
Another flag that came out right at the snap of the football.
Offside. Defense, number 24. The penalty is declined. The try is good. Timeout.
Pointing the wrong way, but we get the picture. It's taken some time. We've got 8:18 to go in the 3rd quarter, but Nate Noel and Marcus Carroll, the tailbacks, have given the Tigers their first lead today. The old D2 transfer that set a school record for rushing yards last year. Well, a couple of Sun Belt players
That's right.
have proven they can play in the Southeastern Conference.
There's no question. I mean, talk about a complimentary too. And Nate Noel having himself a day. He has paced the Missouri offense.
Well, that'll give Vanderbilt better field position.
So here's where he pops the run. So watch, here's C.J. Taylor. He's a safety. Watch him, he flinches. He ends up working all the way back to where Longwell is. You've got two defenders in the same gap, and Noel is plenty good enough runner. He's going to find where the fit isn't. So you bring an extra hat, you have your safety downhill, and instead you bust the assignment. Your buddy Carroll gets in there and hammers it in there. That for a 1-2 punch. Taylor came in there kind of cold, right? Didn't get to play the whole first half, was out because of the targeting penalty. One of the better players on this Vanderbilt team. You see the C on his jersey. He's a captain.
Meanwhile, Corey Batoon, the defensive coordinator for Mizzou, his defense has allowed -6 yards since the first quarter.
And he's been aided with some questionable decisions in the offensive backfield. Some bad ball handling by Vanderbilt.
Pavia keeps it, tosses it. Not much place to run. Alexander does fall forward. You wondered after Blake Baker went over to LSU to be the defensive coordinator how Corey Batoon would do. He's in the front of your screen there as he circled. Came from over from South Alabama. A man from Hawaii. He's been all over the country. There is a penalty on the field right now that Corey's looking at.
After the snap action. Be interesting to see who this flag ends up coming in on. Ball Chase Mitchell.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 50. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. That is number 50's first unsportsmanlike foul for the game.
Right tackle Chase Mitchell came over this year from Liberty.
Chase Mitchell, and he was working with Eddie Kelly. And after the play, Eddie Kelly came in there.
Correction, it's a dead ball foul. The down counts, it's second down.
I got to tell you, I don't. Yeah, so he turned around. I don't know if he. Well, watch Eddie Kelly. He couldn't believe it. Eddie Kelly came jumping in there. I don't know if he almost looked like, I don't know what he did. He said something.
Cade McConnell-Stinch comes in to play right tackle. The backup center takes Mitchell's spot on a 2nd and 24. Pavia's drifting, setting up the screen. Here goes Newberry, and Newberry gets some of that yardage back. Corey Flagg, another tackle. He's been terrific off the bench. 3rd and long for Clark Lee's Vanderbilt offense.
It really has, and this Missouri defense has been feasting on this Vanderbilt offense, an offense that has been kind of, hey man, I'll put some salt and pepper on this for you. I'm more than happy to help you out. Negative yardage plays, not one first down for Vanderbilt offensively since the first quarter. Negative yardage plays and penalties killing the Commodore offense.
Pavia throws it up for grabs, and it's incomplete. Almost picked off. Sidney Williams had a chance. Florida State transfer.
So Chase Mitchell gets the penalty, puts his offense in a hole. Watch now, his replacement at left tackle loses right now. Up and under move by Johnny Walker. Well, actually, it was Joe Moore who was able to win up and in.
Mirko, this is off the side of his foot. He's been terrific. Not that time. This will be marked out at the 33. A 38-yard punt. Mizzou has the football and the lead midway through the third. Who have inspired so many of us. Nominate a great teacher in your community by visiting cfpfoundation.org. Nashville, Tennessee's Ryan Longwell thanking Miss Brown. Marcus Carroll doesn't get much on the first down carry. Longwell has been in there a bunch, but that was Langston Patterson that time on the tackle.
You see Longwell, he's been active. There's no question in this game. These linebackers have been stressed. Missouri has lived to continue to try to stretch the defense. Multiple times, that's been their biggest gainer plays in the run game.
Noel had that long 60-plus yard run. This is Carroll's possession. Cook throws across the middle, too far in front of Burden.
There were 4 Vanderbilt defenders in the area. And that ball was a little bit high. Luther Burden with tons of attention from the Vanderbilt defense. And now a 3rd and long. You see Vandy win on that first down. They miss on the 2nd down shot.
Eli Drinkwitz has said big determining factor in who wins our 3rd downs with his team 6 of 11 on 3rd downs today. Vandy's only converted 1 of those in 7 tries.
Big void in the middle.
Here come the doors. Cook gets out of there, throws, but short of the first down. Burden ran a route that was about 7-8 yards, and Nick Rinaldi on the tackle.
And was standing nearly on the sideline by the time he got the football. Just no room to turn and run.
Excuse me, Rinaldi with the pressure there. That you just alluded to, and now another punt for Luke Bauer. Martell Height calls for the fair catch. Another great punt by Bauer. That right there is Jack Foster and his family. Jack, 8 days ago, saved Peter Burns' life. Our colleague with SEC Network was eating at a wonderful restaurant here in town with us called Bud's. And the man on the far right of your screen, Jack, came from across the restaurant to apply the Heimlich maneuver to Peter and truly save his life. Jack has been with us throughout the day, came up to the booth with us before the game. And the message he wants to make sure everyone gets across is do something to help your brother or sister when they're in need. Make sure you have that sort of training so you can make that sort of wonderful recovery as Quincy Skinner makes the catch. Jack came up here to the booth with us earlier today. A true hero here in Columbia, Missouri. By the way, it looks like, I'm not sure which one of those guys played offensive line in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah,
that picture.
Jack's a big guy. That was a big piece of meat he had to get out of there. He had to come in there and come off the top ropes to get Peter on the right side of that thing. I don't understand why that ball was whistled dead on that catch.
This is 2nd and short. It's not first down. 2nd and short as Alexander on the carry gets right to the 30.
So watch this previous play. A completion. I guess they're saying his left knee was down as he made that catch, right as he made that catch.
Cost him 7 or 8 yards. That was
The
best passing play we've seen from Vanderbilt in quarters.
I wonder if his knee down when he actually made the catch. Yeah, he's down. Good job. Line judge is all over it. Whistled it dead right away.
And then Alexander does get the first on the next play. So now Vandy from their own 30 will turn and run, and it's Alexander again, and said gets out past right at the 35 where Williams makes the tackle. Cedric was an all SEC freshman performer last year with over 500 total yards. Runs with an attitude for Clark Lee's offense. Clark talking to Tim Beck up in the booth. Jerry Kill next to Clark down on the field.
Another productive first down play on this possession.
Pavia hands it off, and Alexander takes a hit after getting a couple. It'll be 3rd and short. Zion Young with the stop.
Another nice cut by Alexander in the backfield. Otherwise, that's probably a negative yardage play. Here comes, you're subbing back in. Here comes Chris McClellan. Big number 7, 325 pounds for that Missouri D-line.
Now, most of those third downs have been 3rd and a mile. This is just 3rd and 2, but Vandy 1 of 7 converting these third downs. Alexander, first down, Vanderbilt, and into Mizzou territory inside the 35. Sidney Williams pushes him out. 31-yard run for the sophomore from Austin, Texas.
We saw this play in the first half. It's like a little G scheme. They pull that play side guard, and Alexander saw a hole out the back door. So Missouri was overcommitted. Kind of an ugly end to that play. Like a sniper got him instead.
Yeah, he led up as you saw that those pellets come up off the turf. Seems like he's okay though. 8 carries for 54 yards now. With under 2 minutes left in the third, and Vanderbilt driving. Pavia gets out of there, and that's where he's dangerous. Vandy has a 1st and goal, 1st and 10 inside the 20.
You know, pre-snap, you're looking at it and go, oh man, you want an inside run called right here because the motion pulls. Watch this linebacker get pulled out by the motion. There's nobody there. You end up having perimeter pressure, and when Pavia is able to get underneath it, you're able to get upfield and for a big gainer.
Just 2 carries of 10+ yards for Pavia today, 7 on the season. Vandy's perfect in the red zone this year.
Double eagle defense, gap, guard to guard. They're completely covered up, nowhere to run.
Alexander, Pavia fakes, throws, and it's a 1st and goal. Trickeration. Cole Spence just with the 2nd catch of his career.
They end up shifting to that kind of direct snap. Watch Pavia, he shifts over. Alexander's there. And the Wildcat, the wild Commodore, hands it off, fake the reverse. Talk about some eye candy, just enough. Get that secondary to sit down, and Jerry Kill, the wizard over there.
It's worked everywhere he's gone. There are 3 backs back there around Pavia. Tosses it. This is Newberry. Got the corner. Touchdown. How about that answer from Vanderbilt?
Well, it started early in the possession, Taylor.
Well, excuse me, hold on.
Yeah, he's got the ball in the outside hand here.
One official raised his arms, touchdown, but he came in and they did. They said touchdown.
So he reaches Newberry. He's got the ball in the right hand and his outside arm, which is smart. He did a good job of reaching inside that pylon off that option pitch.
They do have Mitchell Wilkins, the replay official, looking up here to make sure he crossed. Mitchell.
Ruling of a touchdown in the previous play is under video review. Timeout.
In real time there, Stinch, it looked like to you it was a touchdown.
Yeah.
Krathman, Stevens, and Mitchell Wilkins are up here looking at it.
It's a very similar play we saw in the first half. It's like the inverted wishbone. You got those 2 backs in there out of the shotgun. And watch him. Newberry's got it in his outside arm. Well, watch him reach inside. Tough to tell, the pylon cam is too low. He definitely did not step out of bounds, but watch him take this ball out of his right hand and reach inside the pylon. Hard to tell from that angle, but it looked very much like from behind the ball would have crossed the plane inside of that pylon.
I don't know how anything we just saw would change your mind.
Yeah, everything on the field was touchdown.
If it stands, that's Vanderbilt's 9th rushing touchdown this year. They had 10 in 12 games last year.
Right, and the difference, of course, is that run element at quarterback. Yeah, and that look definitely appears that Newberry had it extended. And again, they're not trying to confirm if he scored. This would be, can you overturn what was ruled a touchdown on the field? I don't see anything that's indisputable about any look. In fact, I really don't see anything that would even lead you to think that it wasn't 6.
You know, since you go back to the first play of this drive, when Vanderbilt had an... Here, let's hear the call
video
first.
review, the ruling on the field stands, touchdown.
You go back to the first play of the entire drive, and Vanderbilt throws for 9 yards on first down. Haven't seen them do that the entire game, and that got them a little momentum going.
Yeah,
then they went to the ground game.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. It's a great point. You know, you got that passing game going just enough. Then you got a couple of option looks.
Brock Taylor ties it at 20. To the studio and our friend Dari Noka.
A bit.
Oh, Dari, you know a little something about the atmosphere there in Norman on a Saturday night. Josh Heupel back in Norman to take on the team that he helped win a national championship with a quarter century ago.
I'm the coach that was the defensive coordinator of a Clemson team that probably ushered in the end of the Josh Heupel offensive coordinator era at Oklahoma.
Missouri number 20 is number 98.
It's a good point. Of course, Venables was the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma when Heupel won the national championship. Now he's the head coach.
How's that for a layer cake? There's about 5 or 6 of them. There's a lot there, a lot of storylines. How good is Oklahoma going to be when they face the teeth of that Tennessee offense?
Oh, look at this. Wow. This is Johnson deciding to bring it out. Over to the shoulder catch. And it was the right call. Gets past the 30-yard line.
Flags coming in.
Flags are everywhere as Vanderbilt players spill into the Mizzou bench. There's the quarterback matchup tonight. Iamaleava and Jackson Arnold both have been terrific so far, but the turnovers have been a problem for OU. Johnson is injured also. The man that returned that kick for Missouri, he's down on the field as the officials are talking. Marquise, a couple catches today.
At the play, personal foul, face mask, kicking team number 14. The 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down, Mizzou.
So that gives the ball to Missouri near midfield.
That's back-to-back kickoffs where there's a lot going on in these plays, and you see, wow, injury.
Yeah,
Marquise Johnson. Well, we got a little something going on here, and then it's over here that was the call, I believe. And it was after Missouri return team member had blocked Vanderbilt, the Vanderbilt coverage guy, all the way into the sideline.
Cook throws far side, Burden with the catch. But all over him there is Colby Taylor. Just a minimal gain, and this is where the Vandy players are trying to get in Luther Burden's head a bit. Luther's helmet comes off.
Missouri number 3 is out for the next play due to his helmet coming off. Second down.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Taylor. I mean, this is what I think Alyssa hit at the top of the show is, you know, the book is out. Coach Drinkwitz talked to Luther Bird and was like, look, man, they all know what it takes, where your buttons are. They're big. They're everywhere. And they're just going to try to get in your head, see if you can't impact this game negatively.
And it's the end of the third quarter. We wondered across this country where the drama would come. How about Columbia, Missouri on a sneaky Saturday? 20 all as we go to the fourth. Coach Drinkwitz will be with Alyssa next.
To take the lead back here.
Well, we need to be more consistent running the football, and we got to execute on third down.
Thanks, Coach.
MIZ.
That is a man that has a serious look about him right now as his team is in a four-quarter fight. Missouri and Vandy tied at 20. Mizzou's had terrific field position throughout this game. 4 times they've been better than their own 40. They've only scored 6 points. Here's Nate Noel coming out running to give them a first down. This is what has worked best for Missouri on offense today, running the ball with Noel, who has over 170 yards rushing in the game.
And in the first half, they were able to be patient with it. Now here we go again, tempo over the ball.
Fake to Noel, Cook's in trouble, gets out of there. Will take off to the sideline, might have lost yardage. Brian Longwell was running stride for stride. It was Randon Fontenette that forced Cook out of the pocket.
He was rolling. You see Brady Cook a little bit gimpy after that tackle by Longwell on the boundary. There goes Marquise Johnson.
Yeah.
After that kick return. But you nailed it, Taylor, earlier. Excellent field position, just the 6 points. Mizzou has not been able to capitalize. They've been playing on half of a football field. Flag came in.
Delay game. Defense number 19 for clapping prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty remains second down.
Came in from the back judge, it looked like.
Clark is furious with DeRicky Wright.
So if a clap is part of your cadence, that's considered a disconcerting signal. A free 5 yards for the Mizzou offense.
When you think of the leg that Blake Craig has, that means Mizzou's already in field goal range. I don't think a touchdown, though. Not much room for Noel, and it'll be third down.
It's interesting, you know, they just got to be so patient. You see, once again, Vanderbilt, they've seen the same run scheme over and over again. At times they've done an excellent job, as you see, it looks like.
That's Glenn Seabrook's stench. He's been great as a freshman. Interception in his first collegiate game against Virginia Tech at a Davidson Academy in the Music City. And we will take a timeout with him. Tied at 20 in the fourth quarter here in Columbia, Missouri. And Mizzou has a 3rd and 6 at the Vanderbilt 38. Glenn Seabrooks just went out of the game for Vanderbilt due to injury. And Corday Sidnor is back in. Had a sack on Brady Cook in the first half. A critical 4th down. Cook on 3rd down. It's a first down throw right to the sticks. And Theo Weiss. Haven't called his name much today, but we've called it a lot this season.
He has been so steady. That sounds like almost like it's a backhanded compliment. It isn't. And Theo Weiss has been the consistent part. He and Nate Noel in the run game have been the ones that have been the central pieces of this offense this season.
24 catches for Theo this year. Back to the ground, and Noel. Noel is caught by Aeneas DeCosmo. Cosmo's second year after coming over from Stanford, starting to play at a higher level this year.
He ran right through the block of Brett Norfleet, who's Apparently still struggling with that shoulder injury. That was a backside play, and Nias DeCosmo just tracked that play down for the negative yards, or nearly no gain there on that first down play.
Cook throws, line of scrimmage ball, caught by Weiss, and Theo is just short of another first down. It'll be 3rd and short.
That's just a move the line of scrimmage play. So get out there and give it to Theo Weiss with a couple blockers in front. So now Caden Green, left guard, has to substitute off. Elmer came popping off. Big Mitch Walters in there at right guard. Cameron Johnson in there at left guard still.
Too many players on the field. DeCosmo barely gets off. Mizzou was trying to snap it. And Cook on a design run. No. Langston Patterson, who prevented the first down on the last play, was right there again, and so was Randon Fontenette.
If it wasn't Patterson, it's Fontenette that's making that play. I mean, right now, a great job by both Patterson and Fontenette. Just beat the would-be block of Marcus Bryant. Fontenette still would have been unaccounted for on the edge right there on that QB design run.
Greg now for another. This from 40 yards. He's 2 for 3 today. And it's no good. It's wide to the right. He thought he made it. It was right over the right upright, and Vanderbilt makes another stand.
And once again, Missouri squandering excellent starting field position. They just have not been able to sustain drives.
He thought he made it, but the official said, no, you didn't. And the game is still tied, and Clark Lee is fired up.
Presented by the new Fun 99 menu at Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic.
Stinch, is there a sign for good and no good at the same time? Can you replay? He's still, those guys on the sideline still think he made that kick. Hard to tell from that angle. One person up here says yes, another person says no. Vandy has the ball, 20 all. 10:48 left. And it's Pavia getting a little bit, but not much. Drayden Norwood on the tackle.
That's a heck of a play by Drayden Norwood. If he doesn't, and Pavia sneaks underneath him, that's an explosive run play. We've seen that motion multiple times for both offenses, incidentally. Norwood.
They lead college football. Vanderbilt does, scoring points in the fourth quarter. But Mizzou's only allowed 7 in the fourth quarter all year. Pavia picked up 1 on first down. He's in trouble on second and throws it into the Mizzou bench.
Boy, and Vanderbilt, they're arguing that maybe he got hit a little bit late.
He was in the area. It's an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
Oh, wow. I got to tell you, I wouldn't be a fan of it, but we've seen a lot less called for roughing the passer.
Instead, it's 3rd and 9, and Faroe Field is yelling at Diego Pavia. Facing pressure, throws across the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Eli Stowers. There are no flags, it's 4th down.
Man, Khalil Jacobs, right down the barrel. And he's the reason this play gets made. Watch him, he's just gonna shoot right down the hash. Center gets occupied by the first blitzer. Khalil Jacobs has got a free run right in to Pavia's living room.
Came over from Mobile, Alabama, where he played for South Alabama for Corey Batoon. Now still playing for Batoon at Mizzou. Mirko punts to Burden. And Luther with the fair catch. .9:49 left. Burden, 5 catches, 51 yards, and a touchdown. Did have 2 good punt returns. Noel has 175 yards rushing. Nate has been terrific for Mizzou. Does Brady Cook feature his transfer tailback from App State here with the game on the line?
Well, he has certainly been the surest thing. The problem has been Vanderbilt has done a relatively good job of bottling it up. It's been feast or famine in that run game.
Cook looks, almost intercepted. Was looking for Weiss, but it was Capers who jumped up there to get a hand on it.
Bluffing, dropping out right off of the edge. Once again, I think that ball got deflected right at the line of scrimmage. Watch the hand go up. Yeah, once again, great job. Big Christian James.
Yeah, that was James, actually, that had a hand on it. Capers had a shot at it, too, and we still almost made the catch.
Almost made the catch. What a season. You're right. You said it earlier. I mean, Weiss has had one heck of a start to this season. Nearly came up with a very improbable catch there.
It's Colby Taylor down on the ground. He's been having fun with Luther Burden today. They've been talking a lot. Senior transfer from Wyoming by way of Fort Lauderdale.
Sure.
Welcome to college football in 2024. Vandy has 3 European defensive linemen, a transfer from Stanford, 1 from Purdue. Another that came over from Middle Tennessee. And guys from Wyoming in the secondary. Reminder tonight, after us, number 5 Ole Miss hosts Georgia Southern. And then exclusively on ESPN Plus and SEC Network Plus, have those 2 Texas rivals. Number 25 Aggies play Bowling Green, and number 1 Texas plays Louisiana Monroe. Each game is also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. And Texas A&M play each other at the end of the season in the Southeastern Conference. 2nd and 10, Cook pumps, throws, middle of the field is open, and inside the 40 goes Weiss. Didn't say much about Theo for over an hour, but we're saying a bunch about him in the 4th. 27 yards.
Cook kind of pumped. Good job stepping up in the pocket. Great protection by the Missouri offensive front. And once again, Mr. Reliable in that passing game for Missouri with Weiss.
26th catch of the year. It's just game 4. Again, Cook fakes the run and throws down the field. Incomplete. Weiss was covered up. There's 3 Vandy defenders in the area, including Russell and Fontenette.
The crowd wanted him to go deep to Luther Burden on the post. Instead was working into Weiss. Burden at the top of your screen. It's Cooper in motion there, and you see Burden. Wow. Here he is. It's a little bit of fool's goal because this middle field safety is breaking on what is a thrown ball. Ends up looking more open than it actually is. Brady Cook is looking down there. He sees the middle field closed with that safety.
On 2nd and 10, Noel downfield running, downhill running. Look at the burst he's had as he took that football from Cook. 14 more.
So Longwell, I don't know what Bryant Longwell was doing right there. He was the C-gap defender. He was the defender to the right side of the Missouri offensive front. Confusion there. He was dropping back on an obvious run play. Easy access, just right downhill for Noel. Longwell with a heck of a game, but
he's right at his career high, just short of it, I believe, by a yard. He has 192 yards rushing today.
You see Missouri just patient. They're patient with that run game. Keep sticking with it. You see, it's Blake Craig, the kicker, A tough afternoon. It's hard to say that about a guy who nailed a 54-yarder, but no less true with a couple of misses.
Something tells me play caller Kirby Moore is thinking about 6. On 2nd and 7, Cook is in trouble. He's going down on the blitz. It's Fontenette.
We saw Fontenette come on a pressure earlier, couldn't get it done. That time, we played it both ways. A lot of times when you can't get there, you go up. So here comes Fontenette. Cook sees it, tries to come to his option over the ball, didn't have it. Fontenette went from trying to deflect the ball. He regained his footing to be able to make that sack.
Second sack today for Vanderbilt, and it's 3rd and 14. To get to the 15 to move the chains. Cook's got time to do so. Incomplete, off the hands of Weiss. And that will bring Blake Craig back onto the field.
Weiss was running out of real estate on that one regardless. That throw was wide. So as we mentioned earlier, Blake Craig, 2 for 4 on the afternoon, cranked one in there from 54. But just very recently missed from this same hash. Going this direction.
Yeah, a little further this time. This is 46 yards. And he hooked it. The redshirt freshman was the SEC Kicker of the Week last week, coming up clutch with 4 field goals, but just 2 for 5 today, getting a bunch of support from his teammates on the sideline. But it's a tie game, and Vanderbilt has the football. Michigan beat USC. All the other games are over. Hitch your wagon to this one. 20 apiece with 7:06 to go. Pavia across the middle, incomplete. On a slant, he had Skinner, but Skinner couldn't make the grab. 2nd down.
You're Quincy Skinner, a guy that started the season hot versus Virginia Tech. Obviously, the passing game has since cooled. That ball's a little low, but you got to make that catch. Offense that does not throw the ball often, but that's how they jump-started the big drive earlier this half, was with the passing game. Missed opportunity there.
It's Alexander next to Pavia, and Diego moves the pocket. Alexander blocks for him, and it's a good ball out to Stowers. It'll be 3rd down.
He came out throwing this possession. To jam one in there to Skinner, move the pocket. That's where Pavia is most comfortable as a passer. Part of that's a function of his height. The other is just his athletic ability to know I can tuck and run it. Cuts the field in half for a read purpose. On 3rd down, we've seen Vanderbilt empty the backfield. Start out with a back in there. Looks like they'll leave Alexander back there with Pavia to protect.
Pavia running, and he gets the first, stays on his feet inside Mizzou territory. That's why they went and got him from New Mexico State. 18 more.
Running a little hitch in his giddy up after that run. They rolled him left and they rolled him right. No options. Man, he's just fast enough, isn't he?
When there's nothing, you got to have a quarterback that can give you something with his legs, and Pavia's done that all season for Vandy. And the clock becomes a factor. Both teams have all 3 of their timeouts.
Another likely protection down with Alexander up in his alignment.
Pavia stands right there and delivers a strike to Stowers. 1st down, Commodores, down to the 34, Alyssa.
On that last third down conversion, guys, of course, the Vanderbilt defense was up on the sidelines, ready to potentially go into the game. When Diego converted to a first down, the screams were unbelievable from the sideline. This coaching staff has talked about how the swagger of their quarterback has permeated not only through the offense, but this entire team, and you can feel it on the Vandy sideline right now.
The more and more Mizzou has let Clark Lee's team hang around, the more they've believed. And now they're in scoring position with less than 5 to go. It's Newberry and Alexander on each side of Pavia. And it's Newberry. Not much. Game tackled out of bounds. Chuck Hicks and friends.
Now well defended by Khalil Jacobs. So that time they shot the corner from the boundary. Got that near side corner. So they end up shooting in there and run support. A great job by Khalil Jacobs. He's scraping opposite. You send that pressure from one side, you got to compensate from somewhere else. Great range by number 29 from his linebacking position.
Pavia takes off. Gets a few, and he's down to the 31 where Hicks was waiting for him again. It's third down.
QB draw all the way. A designed run. That time Pavia ended up kind of having to push it further to the right. Another third and long, as you see Brock Taylor over there on the sideline for Vanderbilt. Kickers getting a lot of pre-attempt airtime, a lot of pressure potentially on these field goal attempts, if in fact it requires that.
Timeout, Clark Lee.
Vanderbilt has called their first charge time out of the half. It's 30 seconds in length.
You know, we talked about the missed field goals in this game, Stinch, but also right before the half, Eli Drinkwitz elected to go for it on his own side of the field on a 4th down with just seconds remaining in the first half from his own 47-yard line, and Corday Sidnor sacked Brady Cook. And then Diego Pavia got a few extra yards throwing that ball to Stowers that set up Brock Taylor to make a 57-yard field goal. 3 bonus points for Vanderbilt. Part of the reason why the game is tied currently.
Yeah, it made no sense. And when asked, why'd you do that, coach? He said, it was stupid. Big mistake by me. Potentially huge mistake. And as you mentioned, the whole reason why this game could be knotted up was because Missouri gifted Vanderbilt that possession right at the end of the half. Could have run it out at the very least.
Now what does Pavia do on a 3rd and 8? Needs the 24 to move the chains. It's Hoskins going in motion. Pavia drifts, and it's deflected at the line. Chris McClellan has been terrific today, and he's letting you know he got a hand on it.
We talked about Pavia and how much they like to move the pocket with him. Well, part of it is just he does not have a lot of length at 6 feet tall. McClellan does a great job getting pushed. He swallowed that ball up. He could have blocked that with his chin strap. It was right on top of Pavia.
Brock Taylor is 2 for 2. He's made 1 from 57 today. This is for the lead from 50. And he missed it. We've had 4 missed field goals in this game, 3 for Mizzou, and now 1 for Vanderbilt. But certainly that was no chip shot.
How about the Mizzou defense getting the stop that they needed to force this long field goal attempt? That ball just hung outside, never drew inside the right upright. Now the Missouri offense But outside of that opening possession really here in the second half, right? This has been the story. A couple of place kickers and the misses.
What's the story of the last 3:06? Mizzou has 3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout, which gives them time to still give the football to Nate Noel. He gets a couple. Now a career high 194 yards rushing for Nate.
You know, we've seen Theo Weiss, we've seen Nate Noel, Luther Burton, been awfully quiet past couple of offensive possessions for Missouri. I think maybe to try to manufacture a touch for number 3.
Cook gets out of there and gets out of bounds and hit as he goes out of bounds, but no flag.
Man. Well, once again, a great job by Brady Cook, getting what he can. Nowhere to go downfield again. But watch at the end of this play. Now, Patterson's already left his feet. Nah, there's not much there. It ended up looking much uglier, I think, the first time. But that's twice now where he could have gotten rolled up.
1st and 10 at the 44, and just a little throw to Noel out of the backfield, and it gets him near midfield.
Well, Vanderbilt has really, there's the 2-minute timeout.
Will it come down to Blake Craig's leg? He wants a shot at redemption in a tie ball game in Como.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. This isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle. You find diamonds in the rust to put your own stamp on stock parts, turning metal into murals and detailing every detail. Because it's the things you make that show.
This
Within Blake Craig's range, but Craig has made 2 field goals and missed 3 today. Coach Drinkwitz has all 3 of his timeouts. This is 2nd down from midfield for Brady Cook. And because of those timeouts, can still use that back, Nate Noel, behind him, who has 195 yards rushing. And here he is, short of the 1st down, as Langston Patterson makes another tackle. It's 3rd and 1.
Patterson's been so active, but now let's keep in mind, so we saw a 3rd and short earlier, and Vanderbilt ended up loading up, brought a safety blitz, and now you see a couple of big bodies subbing in. CJ Taylor off. They're going to go with their heavy horse along their defensive front.
It's Marcus Carroll behind Cook, and Carroll right at the marker. No.
Christian James again. Number 91.
And now what do you do, Stench, if you're Eli Drinkwitz?
We've already seen him. He went for it on 4th. He's leaving him out there on 4th and short. You have to think, all game long, we saw this earlier. Wow, they're going to see if they can catch Vanderbilt in some personnel.
There's tremendous confusion on the Vandy defense.
Yeah, they got to burn a timeout here. Yeah, they had at one point looked like 13 players on the field.
Vanderbilt has called their 2nd timeout of the half. It's 30 seconds.
Line is sunk.
Please reset the game clock to 55 seconds. 5-5.
Was trying to get lined up.
Well, our crew just showed it to you right before the half at Mizzou's own 47-yard line. Coach Drinkwitz went for it, and Brady Cook was sacked by Corday Sidnor near the end of the 2nd quarter, and it led to 3 Vanderbilt points. Here, this ball will be snapped inside Vanderbilt's 47. Here's another look at that play at the end, near the end of the 2nd quarter. And Vanderbilt would go on to kick a field goal after Pavia completed this pass to Stowers. Logan Taylor from 57 yards away. And you have to wonder if this is still a football game if they hadn't elected to do that near the end of the 2nd quarter. And now Mizzou's offense is out there again just 6 yards closer than they were in that position. Coach Drinkwitz keeps the offense out there. 4th and a yard. Cook comes up to the line. Is it a hard count or will they snap it? Timeout, Missouri.
Missouri's called a 30-second timeout. It's their first of the half.
Start out in the gun, hustle up under. You got a couple of tight ends in the game. See if you can't get a free 5 yards and a gimme. And we saw this. It's very similar, as you pointed out. You gamble at midfield. 8 seconds left. You're a completion or two. Now that time was a little bit different circumstance. A completion or two. We've already seen Vanderbilt stripe one.
And now
play field position.
It's field position time. Luke Bauer comes out to punt. The crowd doesn't like it, but Drinkwitz is trying to pin Vandy deep.
Well, this is not a Vanderbilt offense that scares you in the passing game. Pin him deep.
And Height calls for the fair catch at his 7.
When we think about at the end of the first half, Taylor, Vanderbilt got the ball with about 1:17. Missouri called timeout on 2nd and 3rd, trying to preserve clock, and they got it. The problem was, of course, was that it was just a bad decision to try to go for it on 4th down. You could have run out the clock in the half at the very least and forced Vanderbilt to take a timeout, which they unlikely would have. But here, 49 seconds. There is a chance you get a quick stop here and save some clock.
Mizzou has 2 timeouts, not 3, so we'll see what the Vanderbilt offense does with Diego Pavia. 157 yards passing, 67 yards rushing for this dual threat transfer from New Mexico State. Always in shotgun.
You see Missouri playing 2 safeties out. They've usually been playing one of those safeties closer to the box.
Pavia hands it to Alexander, and Alexander gets ahead to the 11.
It's a timeout.
And timeout Missouri with 43 seconds left. He only has 1 left, Drinkwitz does.
So you can see Missouri, it's a run look all the way. Very light box, meaning not many defenders near the line of scrimmage. It's a pretty good job to avoid a larger gain there on that first down run, rather. But that's the playbook. Very similar to what we saw at the end of the second quarter. And Missouri thinking, we get a stop here, try to preserve as much clock while you're on defense. The only way you can stop the clock is with those timeouts. And Vandy here, you're thinking, let's try to play for overtime. Unless you pop a run, you're going to force Missouri to burn this second timeout. On a 2nd down, expect to see this ball stay on the ground once again for Vandy. The fans are feeling it.
What a game. It has been back and forth throughout. Clark Lee has had some big wins. Beat Virginia Tech to start this season, beat Kentucky and Florida 2 years ago. But beating the number 7 team in the country on the road would take the cake. And while this is typically called victory formation, this is overtime formation. But it only takes 2-3 seconds off the clock there. I think in a perfect world, you'd want your quarterback to move around for a few more seconds so that there's no separation between play clock and the regulation time, but there will be at least a few seconds of separation if Vanderbilt doesn't convert on this 3rd down. Jerry Kill over there talking to Diego Pavia. You might remember Jerry is the head coach at Minnesota and then at New Mexico State. Mizzou Tiger fans are stressed. They have the nation's longest winning streak at 7. There's Coach Kill. He's the head coach at New Mexico State, where they won 10 games last year. First time they've done that since the 60s. He decided to come over here and be, I guess you would call him the general of the offense here for Vanderbilt. Tim Beck is the play caller, but Jerry Kill very much involved in what happens here on this 3rd and 8.
You see that 27 straight games against top 10 opponents that they have dropped. Last time was back in 07.
Yeah, let's see if Pavia takes a few more seconds here. 3rd and 8, yeah, he does. And goes down finally there, the 2, maybe the 3-yard line. And that way, it allows the clock to expire, and we are going to overtime. You know, it's been a minute since you and I have seen extra football. There was a game in College Station that went 7 overtimes that everybody remembers. In fact, it changed the rules of college football. The only thing missing that night was Alyssa. So she gets to watch this one with us down there on the field. You get it at the 25 in the first 2 overtimes, and then it's a 2-point conversion contest after that. 20 apiece with more football to play.
You know, Coach Prime, it's nice to finally have some free time. Gives you a chance to reflect on the important things.
Like how Aflac pays people money for the expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
Health insurance does leave a gap.
But Aflac gives people money to help close that gap. Oh, Coach Prime got one on the line too, baby.
This is the end.
Time starting at the 25-yard line. Now, Matt, you did see 7 overtimes in College Station 6 years ago. They've changed the rules on us since then. You only have 2 overtimes where you go through a 25-yard situation, and then you must attempt 2-point conversions after touchdowns in the 2nd overtime, and just 2-point conversions starting in the 3rd overtime.
Well, it's because, I mean, the last time that we did this,
yes,
we got the big guys out there. They're completely out of gas. I mean, they get in their 3-point stance and then maybe never get back out of their 3-point stance. They had nothing left. So they thought maybe there's a safety issue, and it took forever to end the game. So now it's, you got to make these possessions count. And incidentally, Missouri has not had a lot of opportunities to defend this end of their field.
You saw Kevin Maloney in our shot, our statistician. He wants everybody to know that Vanderbilt gets the ball first. Missouri elected to play defense here to start the first overtime. Diego Pavia at quarterback wants to throw, and he dumps it off, and not much there for Stowers. There is a flag down, as he had Johnny Walker Jr. all over him.
It was like a triple option, right? He definitely wanted
Personal
to get
foul,
to him.
roughing the passer.
Wow.
Defense number 20. The penalty's half the distance to goal. At the end of the play, automatic first down.
Yeah, he ended up getting upfield. It was Chuck Hicks. I think they said 20. I think it was Hicks that did it. Well, watch his right arm follow through after the ball's clearly gone. We saw one earlier that maybe could have been called, but you can't go to the head of the passer. You have to know that, especially after the ball's clearly been released. Man, that is a costly penalty to say the least.
Instead of 2nd and 10, it's 1st and 10 inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, as I was saying, coming into this game, Missouri had only faced 1 red zone possession by an opponent. The defense has not had to defend this little amount of field until the 2 possessions earlier in this game.
Pavia to Alexander, going the wrong way. Jailbreak defense, Christian Williams has been terrific in the middle of that defense, and he was first to him.
I mean, Christian Williams just blocked destruction. Look at him. No, not on my watch. There has not been a lot of inside run room, and a lot of it has been because of the interior line play of the Missouri Tiger defensive front. Big Chris McClellan had a huge pass deflection earlier, and now Christian Williams, where they're saying if you're going to gain yards, you got to get it to the perimeter.
A loss of 6. Pavia is in trouble again. He'll take off. Dives inside the 5. drive. He's just short of the first. Did that to score the go-ahead touchdown last week against Georgia State. This time he puts Vandy on the doorstep.
Here he comes. He's gonna come sit next to you on your couch. Instead of jumping right there, you want to see him cut maybe. He ends up in the end zone regardless. Pavia. Get him right there. They can convert for a first down. They do not have to score right here to get a fresh set of downs on 3rd and short.
And you almost never see Pavia under center, but he is on a 3rd and short. Right forward goes Alexander, past that yellow line you see on your screen. Sidney Williams with the tackle, but it's 1st and goal Commodores.
All right, they went unbalanced right there. So instead, you know, they didn't really have a right tackle. Their right tackle was Emmanuel Adebi. He was usually a fullback tight end type. They ran right to that unbalanced side. As you mentioned, uncharacteristically under center right there for Pavia. And will be again, it looks like. I formation. You don't see this a ton in football anywhere.
That's Gabe. That's Gabe Fisher in at fullback in front of Alexander. Looking to throw to Fisher. Touchdown, Vanderbilt. Fisher, the Nashvilleian, the 3-time wrestling state champion, just scored the biggest touchdown of his life. This was another hard sellout in Columbia, Missouri, and you would think no one is here as Brock Taylor makes that important extra point. And now Mizzou must answer. Remember, Vanderbilt beat Virginia Tech in overtime in a similar situation to start the season when the Hokies couldn't answer. And the Doors had another walk-off win.
So we got a tackle over, an extra tackle. This right here that looks like lined up at right tackle is tight end Cole Spence, but the ball's going to come to the fullback out here in the flat. Everybody's thinking downhill run. Cedric Alexander with the ball fake, unaccounted for. Easy pitch and catch into the end zone. Back-to-back plays where Vanderbilt comes out. You've got your quarterback under center. You go heavy on balance to the left. Everybody's thinking downhill run, and you sneak your fullback out into the flat. Now, can the Missouri offense answer here? The run game has been outstanding.
But they're throwing on the first play, and Cook takes a shot to the end zone. Burton wide open. Luther had an early touchdown, has been quiet in the second half. This 25-yard touchdown could send us to a second OT. Craig has missed 3 field goals today, but he makes that extra point, tie game. What's so interesting about this format, Stinch, is the offense comes right back on the field again because Missouri gets it first.
Well, they should be fresh, right? So when you look at it, they ended up, so here's, you see Cook, he's pointing to this side of the formation. And what they end up thinking is, look, we're not going to dance with you, okay? It doesn't get any cleaner than this. It's out and up by Luther Burden. He was in that grouping of receivers, just too easy. Reminiscent of the play that we showed in the open, his ability to get behind the secondary. Luther Burden was very quiet the latter half at the end of regulation. Boy, he announced his presence early here in overtime.
And just remember, there's no more extra point kicking. here in the second session. Now you must go for 2 in this session. If we get to a third overtime, it's only 2-point conversions after that. Missouri goes first in double overtime. Cook again wants to throw, looks to Norfleet, and Brett gets a few yards as he's tackled by Patterson, who's been everywhere.
The difficulty that they have, right, defensively, because Missouri has been so effective, stretch, that boot has been there. Vanderbilt's called a couple of pressures from the field that has caught Missouri on some of those boots.
Nate Noel is approaching 200 yards rushing, and he has the ball here, and he's short. Doesn't get much, just to the 20. Patterson with his 11th tackle. Man, third down.
What an afternoon for Logan Patterson. I mean, he has been downhill over and over again. We've seen third downs. Brady Cook, who has been harassed more than we would have anticipated coming into this game, because Vanderbilt has been effective in their pass rush. But those legs have been deadly, especially on third downs. If you pressure him past the depth of the passer, he can leak up into the pocket and gain yards.
Does he do it again? Here's Cook facing pressure, throws to the end zone, incomplete, out of the back of the end zone, looking for Burton, who is double covered, and there are 2 Vanderbilt players that are slow to get up. And now, here comes Blake Craig again. 3 misses on the day. That one early, then this one from 40. It's hard to know if it was good or not. He thought so. The official said no. This one was hooked. And now he comes on the field to try to give the Tigers the lead in double overtime. From 37 yards away for the redshirt freshman from Kansas City. And this one is good. Missouri takes the lead. Vandy can answer with a field goal or win it with a touchdown.
You worry about a kicker, a young kicker especially. Can they come through when you need them the most? Offense could not find their way in. Now you give it over to this guy. Clark Lee has got a ton of confidence. See that quote there, when the ball's in his hands, you're never out of the fight. Well, that's exactly what this scenario is here in the second overtime. Mizzou's on the board, but with a field goal only. The guy that this man, Clark Lee, wants to have the ball in his hands, Diego Pavia, taking the field for his offense.
Quick throw to Stowers. Falls forward for a few. Eddie Kelly was right there with him.
I think right here, the way that you kick the ball, right? You don't have to be overly aggressive, especially early in that play call.
Pavia gets out of there. First down, Vandy, down to the 12.
You can still pick up yet another first down. You think about a field goal game. So, as we mentioned, you don't have to be that aggressive for Pavia. There's not a big body, but the way he runs, the way he finishes runs, watch this like bowling pins. He already runs through a couple of would-be tacklers. Look, bam, bam, almost takes the umpire out.
Joseph Charleston was injured on that play. Pavia has 87 yards rushing. How many more will he get? As Vandy's at the Mizzou 12, threatening to win the game, wants to take off, nothing there, and it's Eddie Kelly with the sack.
Was able to win inside versus Chase Mitchell. That makes it a lot tougher for these quarterbacks. You know, the yardage to be gained is always up and through. Actually, he just shortened that corner. It was the opposite side. It was Johnny Walker that was able to win inside. Nowhere to go for Pavia inside, up through the pocket.
Throw, end zone, one-on-one, flags everywhere. Junior Sherrill was the intended target. Toriano Pride with him, and it's offensive pass interference.
I mean, hate to call. You think this is not a high percentage throw.
Pass interference, offense, number 0. 15-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So you got a chance to maybe dig your way back out of this hole, but look, this is smart by Sherrill. This ball is intercepted if he doesn't basically turn defensive back and interfere. Look at him. You know, if anything, right, you're in phase at worst. That ball's got to be more upfield. Instead, that's a would-be pick by Pride.
You didn't like the play call. You had no problem with the penalty call.
No, yeah, it was the play call that was the issue.
And now Vanderbilt's back at the 30. Can't take a negative play here. Pavia throws. It's caught. Turning back upfield inside the 15 is Sherrill. Goes right back to Junior. And now it's third and manageable.
Nearly back to that original line of scrimmage. And third down can still pick up a first down. You don't have to get it in the end zone. You've got a field goal kicker that can handle this. Already demonstrated that, albeit we've seen some jitters, that's for sure, for many of these place kicks.
Deflected. There's no whistle yet here. That was Christian Williams that deflected the football.
Really on the field is an incomplete forward pass, fourth down.
It certainly looked like one.
I don't understand why that ball wasn't whistled dead almost immediately. It was yet another great play by the Missouri defensive front. This time Christian Williams getting in on it. Another deflected ball. He just dunked on that one. I don't know why it's not whistled dead right there. It clearly was an incomplete pass.
And now Brock Taylor will try to send us into a third overtime. Made from 27 and 57. He missed from 50. This is from 31. And Eli Drinkwitz wants Brock to think about it.
Timeout, Missouri. This is their one timeout in this overtime period. It's 30 seconds in length.
That Junior Sherrill catch was huge. And you think that the fade, you're throwing into the end zone, lucky that you don't turn it over there. Big penalty to dig that hole. Junior Sherrill did a great job of getting him back into a easier field goal attempt here.
That Ole Miss Georgia Southern game's already started. It's 7-0 Ole Miss. That's coming up next here on SEC Network, Alyssa.
Guys, it's been a pretty dry second half, but now in the last 60 seconds, the rain is starting to come down. Could be a factor here.
Taylor's a sophomore from Knoxville, Tennessee. to the field in Alyssa.
Coach, take me through what you're feeling right now. Double overtime win here at home.
Proud of our team for finding a way to win. Hats off to Clark Lee and his team. They're a really good football team. Really proud of the way we responded. Obviously, Brady cooked to Luther right there, and then the way our defense finished the game.
We talked about the challenge from last week. Your team was tested again this week. What did you learn about this group tonight?
We got a long way to go.
When it comes to that connection between Brady and Luther, how special is it to be able to dial up the offense for three the way y'all can?
Yeah, I mean, they're special players, and special players do special things.
Congrats, Coach.
MIZ.
You could tell all day that Eli Drinkwitz was trying to control his emotions so his team would do the same. And in the end, his program outlasts Vanderbilt. What a performance by Clark Lee's Commodores in a losing effort. Taylor hooks this kick. And somehow number 7 Missouri outlasts Vanderbilt in double overtime. Tigers are 4-0 on the season going into an open week before they play their first road game of the season against Texas A&M. Vanderbilt also has 2 weeks to prepare for their next game. That's against Alabama in Nashville. Let's take a look at the Saturday MVP brought to you by Sport Clips. Luther Burden caught the big touchdown to tie the game in overtime. He had one earlier too.
You know, he had to be the spark last week versus Boston College. That first overtime period, one play, touchdown for the Missouri offense. They went right back out on the field. A fantastic performance when they needed him the most from one of their best players in Luther Bird.
This is certainly one we will never forget. Incredible effort by both teams today. Thanks to Tom Schofield, Steve Turnberger, and our entire production team. Missouri beats Vanderbilt 30-27 for Alyssa Lang, Matt Stinchcomb. I'm Taylor Zarzer. Good night from Columbia. Now let's send it to Tom Hart and